Hey guys, it's another fail on the Garden to Go kits from Lowe's. Hi, this is Sheri Ann Richerson from exoticgardening.com. And I do need to tell you before we begin that these little trees were free. I picked one up for myself and one each for two other friends of mine that were working and could not make it to pick theirs up. I'm going to be giving mine to them. These trees are not suited for our climate. According to the Morton Arboretum, they have lots of insect and disease problems and are not recommended for ornamental landscape. This is what the little tree roots look like. What the little trees look like. This is red pine. They gave us these little care cards. The first thing that I noticed was that these pines like highly acidic soil. We do not have highly acidic soil in Indiana. This is why it is massive work to try to grow blueberries in Indiana. Yes, blueberries grow great in Michigan, but not Indiana. You literally have to dig a trench and backfill with acidic soil and give lots of acidic fertilizer. Azaleas also don't do well here, at least not in the area of Indiana that I'm in. I have tried both azaleas and blueberries. I have tried the coffee grounds trick. I have tried doing the acidic fertilizer. I have tried digging out and backfilling. I have tried all kinds of things to get blueberries and azaleas to grow because I love azaleas and camellias. We do have some marginally hardy camellias. And these highly acidic plants just don't make it here. Now, I do realize that red pine is a native plant. However, with all of the pest and disease issues and the fact that it's not going to grow well here because of the lack of acidic soil, not to mention the height can get 80 feet and the width 30 feet. So that's a really large pine tree. I don't understand why they chose this particular plant to give to everybody, because I feel like it's asking for a problem. When you have plants that are susceptible to disease or pest, and those pests come into the area, they tend to hit every one of those plants. So the more plants they are for those pests or disease to hit, the more problems you're going to have. And then somebody has to pay to have these trees taken down, or they fall down, or whatever the case may be. But either way, you have a plant that has to be removed if it even lives. And I feel like the big fail on this was, yes, I was hoping they gave a native plant, especially with this being Earth Day. I was hoping they gave something that was ornamental and that people would enjoy and that would really spark interest in native plants. You know, a dogwood, for Pete's sake. I mean, I understand maybe they couldn't have done a dogwood tree, but they could have done a dogwood bush, you know, something like a red twig or a yellow twig dogwood. There were many options, and I just feel like in our area, giving out red pines is setting people up not only for failure from the start because of the lack of the acidic soil, but then if they do go through all the hoops and get this tree to grow, there's a very good chance they're going to have it removed because of either pest or disease. And that's just heartbreaking when you've put so much into a plant to get it to grow, and you've got it to grow and it's starting to look really good. And then for whatever reason, you know. The other thing, it says dry, sandy, or gravelly soil. We have clay soil in this part of Indiana. Can it be dry? Yes. Is it gravelly or sandy? Absolutely not, unless you have amended it. And you could amend the soil. I mean, I'm not saying you can't. If you really wanted to plant this and have it grow, there are things that you could do. We was going to do a blueberry patch and actually dig 6 feet down into the ground and 6 feet on all sides and literally backfill that with acidic soil so that we could get the right environment to get the blueberries going, and then hope that as they grew and we was using the acidic fertilizer, that enough of that acidity would stay that we wouldn't lose the plants when they got larger. So needless to say, we never got that experiment done. So now the other thing that I have noticed about these, they are really, really, you can smell the pine. The resinous pine in these are really strong. And so you can smell it. I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. You know, not at all. I'm not real pleased. I would love to hear what some of you got in your little boxes this week for your saplings. Oh wow, and I just noticed that. Now, do you guys see that? That's I think the baby pine cone's coming out. So I don't know. Those are pretty good sized ones. Okay. That might be one right there. And yep, this one has one too right there at the top. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't do a lot with pine trees, truthfully. I've got some. But I'm not real big on them. I haven't had a lot of luck getting them to grow long-term in the yard here. I've got a few that are growing very slowly that seem to be hanging in there. And they were ones I bought at Lowe's that were this size, that were like $1 many, many years ago. And they're maybe 3 feet now, and I think I planted them, gosh, 2006 or something. So, like I said, I'm kind of disappointed in this week's kit. And these are bare root too. This is just some kind of paper wad that is moist. I think, you guys can't see the roots, and I don't really want to open these up. Maybe there you can see the roots. They're definitely bare root. So, if you're going to plant these, just in case you don't get the little kit, the little paper, I mean, you do need to keep, it says seedling is dormant, which it is not. You do need to keep it moist. So you need to remove the wrapping prior to planting. Now here's what I would do with my experience from working in a nursery. I would remove this from the bag. I would look at the roots. I would probably snip just a little bit of the bottom of the roots off. I would do it underwater, and I would do it in water that has been fertilized with a very weak solution of fertilizer, or like a vitamin, like a B1 if you have that. I know most of you probably don't and are working with straight fertilizers, but I would soak it overnight in that fertilizer solution. And then I would dig the hole. Of course, you want it twice the width and depth of the roots. And I know this says do not trim the roots, but I'm telling you from working in a nursery, that is exactly what they do. It says not to pack the soil too firmly. If you leave air holes in the soil, you're going to have a problem. So what I would do, personally me, is I would dig the hole, and then I would backfill the hole with water, and I would let the water drain out. And I would do that at least twice. And then I would put your plant in, and I would make sure that the soil was very loose and dry. And I would fill it in around the roots. I mean, I wouldn't, you don't want to mash it in there, but you want to make sure that everything is covered and there's no big gaping air holes. And then what I would do when I get it up, I would gently tamp the top around with my feet and gently. I mean, don't stomp it, just kind of press it down. And then I would use that fertilizer water, and I would very carefully pour it in so that it all goes down to that hole. And I would watch as your soil packs down. And then I would go ahead and bring some more soil over and put on top. And it may look a little mounded, but as you water or as it rains, that's going to pack on down, and that's going to make sure that the soil is tight around the roots. Like I said, not jam-packed, but tight around the roots. With the weather we've been having, I don't know if the ground is frozen or not. I don't know how wet the ground is. So I don't even know if right now is a good time to be planting these. Because I have a rule, if the soil is wet because of the clay, I don't work the soil at all. I wait until it dries. So if you cannot work your soil, the next best thing to do would be to pot these up in a container. And again, I would use the same method. Trim the roots, soak them overnight, put it in the container, make sure that there's plenty of soil around the roots so there's no air holes. Water well, and put it in a protected place. You know, I think that these could probably be outside at this point, but if you're going to get a hard freeze or a frost, you might want to bring them in to an unheated garage, or, you know, put them in a cold frame or something like that, just to make sure that nothing happens to them. They should be hardened off, but I have no way of knowing that. It also says to keep the soil moist while these are establishing, and of course you do that with any plant. Throughout that first season, you want to really keep an eye on the plant and make sure that the soil is moist, that everything is doing good. You're definitely going to have to use some kind of acidic fertilizer with these. So, sorry guys, I'm just disappointed, and I was hoping that it wouldn't be like this. I did not get signed up for the butterfly kit because they sold out right away again as soon as it opened at midnight. I am going to try to go and see if they have any left over that weren't picked up after pickup is over next week. I don't know. Let's talk about what you got. Leave it down in the comments, guys. Please subscribe. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments below. Thanks for watching, and have a great night.